Hello everyone, very good evening. This is Shyama Marika from Oman. Welcome back to School of Thought with Shyama Marika, powered by IPRH. As you all know, IPRH is an educational research and consultant center founded by Professor Dr. Mohammad Shahriz Parvez. It is a government registered organization and its objectives are to advance and spread knowledge of various national and international business settings and trends through research, academic collaboration, and business engagement. The main goal of the IPRH is to enlighten the independent perception of individual thoughts by sharing knowledge, providing research news, training, brainstorming, and research project consultation with innovative ideas and organize talk shows with different research people from different areas around the world. And do not stop there, and they have many more activities involved with IPRH. So, interested true research scholars are most welcome to join IPRH. Follow this page and share your innovative ideas and research and contribute to the society and the world because IPRH believes that knowledge is power. In align with IPRH mission and vision, in this forum, we talk everything about education and lifestyle. Good evening again and welcome back to the show. As you all know, the first week of February marks the World Interfaith Harmony Week, a global observance established by the United Nations to promote a culture of peace and nonviolence. In a world that often highlights what divides us, this week asks us to look at the common word, whether we call it love of God and love of the neighbor or love of the good and love of the neighbor. The message is the same. Our shared humanity is far more powerful than our theological differences. Joining us today, a very special person. She is none other than Professor Dr. Richa Ranjan, all the way from India. Please join me welcoming Professor Dr. Richa Ranjan. She is a principal and dean of SBCL Rajpura. She is a BA, LLB, Honours and LLM and PhD from MD University, Rohtak. She headed Swami Devi Dayal Law College, Panchkula, over 18 years and 32 years of academic and administrative experience in legal fraternity. She's ex-dean and head of University School of Law, Rayat Bahra University. She is passionate about providing education to every class of the society. She has published numerous research papers in legal journals, national and international repute. She is a speaker, national and international vice speaker, and co-curricular activist. She has promoted legal aid camps, clinics in the rural area of India, and she's also a multi-award winner and special award. She got the Golden Padma Award as an international awardee. So we are so happy and honored to welcome you, ma'am. Very good evening to you. Hello, ma'am.
Audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Very good evening to you,
I
ma'am.
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me
Dr.
now?
Sharma, check. I can't hear you.
Now? I can hear you, but I can hear you well. Any issues? Uh, how are you doing, ma'am, this evening? This is my question. Do you hear me? Hello? Hello? Professor Dr. Chen?
Yes, yes,
Can
yeah, yeah,
you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah.
All right. Very good
So now,
evening. Welcome to our forum today. Thank you for joining with us. How are you doing this evening?
fine, very fine. Was
Okay.
waiting for your call only. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. Uh, as a women activist and person who's from law and legal things, so I hope that in the community, harmony is so important, right? So people who are in this sector, legal field, they have to do so many things, maintaining the harmony between cultures, people, and communities, right? So I would like to ask you a question. Uh, as United Nations has established this week, the theme of this week is love of the good and love of the neighbor. How does your tradition define a good neighbor?
Okay. So, as you have told me about the World International Harmony Week, the theme love of the good and love of the neighbor, it touches an important spiritual and ethical principles shared by many religious traditions. The idea of being a good neighbor is integral to fostering peaceful and compassionate relationships across all the communities. And in many tradition, in and I can say in my tradition, drawing on a blend of ideas from religious and philosophical perspectives, uh, I can define good neighbor as it can be explored through several lenses, including love, respect, empathy, and service. So I think I should define it very clearly through all the lenses. First, a lens of mine is Christianity. So, in Christianity, a good neighbor is most famously defined in parable of the Good Samaritan. Here, Jesus teaches that a neighbor is anyone who is in need, and regardless of their background, ethnicity, or social status, the Samaritan helps the injured man, even though they come from different communities. The central message is that love, compassion should extend beyond familiar boundaries, not only to the known, to the familiar boundaries, emphasizing unconditional care for the others. So, love your enemies, pray for them, and treat others you want to be treated, as this is the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. Okay. Now, my second lens is through Islam. So, Islam places a strong emphasis on the concept of neighbor as uh, which is deeply embedded in the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. He said he is not a believer whose neighbor is not safe from his harm. Uh, in Islamic tradition, the love for one's neighbor is shown not just in acts of kindness, but in ensuring their well-being, whether it can be physical, emotional, or spiritual. So here also care your neighbors, ensure their needs that they are met, not just to show them they are met, show kindness and avoid harming them. The Prophet Muhammad's teachings highlight treating neighbors with respect and generosity, regardless of their faith. Third is Judaism. In Judaism, the concept of good neighbor is rooted in the commandment to love your neighbor as yourself. This verse is central to Jewish ethics, and it calls for a deep empathy towards the other. The Talmud extends this further by teaching that one should actively help others, even if they are not in immediate need, fostering a spirit of kindness and mutual aid. So everything in every we can say aspect, there is only help, which, and now I'll come to the Hinduism, from where I belong. I am from India and we are Hindus. So in Hinduism, the concept of ahimsa, non-harming, and seva, selfless service, strongly emphasize the importance of being a good neighbor. So from where this ahimsa comes, you must have heard about Gandhi ji. He was our freedom fighter, and we got this freedom from him only. Yeah. So his and he was lawyer as well, barrister. We can say barrister. He did law from, uh, eh, we can say internationally. He did that time. So what was his thinking? That you should not harm anyone. Ahimsa. So we are following that only. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that one should live with compassion and goodwill towards others. We are having two holy books in our country. One is Bhagavad Gita and one is Ramayana. So the Bhagavad Gita teaches that one should live with compassion and goodwill towards other, seeing the divine presence in all people, respecting others, being considerate of their needs, and key aspect of harmonious living. So, what are the main principles over here? Non-violence, which is clearly mentioned in Gandhiji principles. We can say ahimsa, and living selflessly and offering helps to the others, and seeing unity in the diversity. These are the main things from the Hinduism. Now, next come the Buddhism. So the idea of good neighbor is closely connected with the practice of metta, where here we can say it is kind of loving kindness and karuna. Buddhism, kindness and karuna. Karuna is in every human being, every human being. So that compassion, karuna, compassion should be seen. The Buddha, here the Buddha's teachings encourage individuals to act in the kindness and empathy towards all the beings. All we are all human beings, and that should be shown without distinction. A good neighbor is someone who cultivates peace, mindfulness, and caring attitudes towards other, that it should be shown that they are interconnected of all life. So here also it is the loving thing that should be done. Non-attachment and selfness is in the all the relationships. Mindful actions that reduce suffering and promote harmony. So here comes the interfaith perspective. Many of the world's major religion share a common understanding of what it means to be a good neighbor. Because as we are discussing about the good neighbor, I want to explain what is it, good neighbor? What does it mean? If you're going through all these faiths, what is it? A good neighbor transcends religious boundaries, emphasizing empathy, compassion, respect, and cooperation. The love of the good, whether expressed as spiritual goodness, moral integrity, or communal harmony, often leads to an inherent love for the others, helping to uh, build the bridges between diverse communities. And this World Interfaith Harmony Week was established by United Nations. What was the aim? Its aim was to promote mutual understanding and respect among people of different religious traditions. So I've told you about the different religious tradition. This was the one main motive. which was of United Nations. The theme of love of the good and love of the neighbor encourages dialogue and cooperation between people of diverse faiths. It recognizes that a good neighbor is one who fosters peace, kindness, and understanding. In practice, being a good neighbor, you and me and everyone, in practice, being a good neighbor means embracing the value of hospitality, kindness, service, and the respect for the others. It also provides, I can say, involves standing up for justice and peace for everyone in the community, helping others, each others in the world, ensuring that no one is left behind or marginalized. So
Wow,
this was my
that was great insight. Thank you very much for covering all the religion and how beautifully you have mentioned that all religion emphasize the importance of unity and harmony. So we have to understand that rather than focusing on the differences. But if you truly look into every religion, no religion says to harm others, right? Peace and harmony is the main thing of religion. Thank you very much for that, ma'am. That was deep insight. And with this, I would like to ask you how can this religious and spiritual communities work together on global issues like climate change or poverty without losing their unique identities? Now, we know we have all religion emphasize on harmony, but there are issues that we can solve together if these communities come together, religious communities or spiritual communities. What kind of change or what kind of problem solving things that they can bring to solve these global
bring.
issues?
So, religious and spiritual communities, they play a very crucial role in addressing these global issues,
Yes.
which you're asking about the climate change and poverty. And they can collaborate effectively without compromising their unique identities. The key
Yes.
lies in the finding what is common ground based on shared values while respecting the diversity of beliefs. As you are talking about the your country, or I'm talking about the my country, they can be shared with by the diversities. And in fact, World Interfaith Harmony Week provides an ideal opportunity to focus on this kind of interfaith cooperation. This is the
Exactly.
main aim. Yeah,
Yes.
especially for tackling complex global issues that require collective actions.
Exactly.
So I'm going to mention about some ways religious and spiritual communities can work together. They can work together on such global issues while preserving their unique identities, and they can collectively maintain the planned order. So they can focus on shared values, as while religious traditions, they have distinct teachings. Everyone has distinct teachings. Most share a set of universal values such as compassion, justice, and care for vulnerable. And these common values can serve as the foundation for interfaith collaboration. For instance, I can give the example stewardship of the earth. It is a common theme in many faiths. The concept of Tikkun Olam in Judaism. I can mention as ahimsa in Hinduism and Buddhism. Similar, because Buddhism and Hinduism, they are mostly similar things. So faith communities can unite around the shared responsibility to protect the planet and care for its resources. So compassion and solidarity with the poor is another shared value. Most religions emphasize helping the poor, the marginalized, and those in need. And by working together, they can pool resources, mobilize volunteers, and advocate for the policies that support social justice and poverty alleviations. So my second point is create interfaith networks for collective actions. That can be helpful for everyone. Religious organizations can form interfaith networks dedicated to addressing the global challenges. These networks can leverage the strength of different faiths and communities, such as shared resources. Different faith communities, what they can do is, often they have unique assets, as they're having different religious institutions, educational resources, volunteer networks that can be pooled for effective action. Every religious institution, they have these all kinds of benefits. So there can be the moral authority. Religious leaders and institutions hold significant influence over large populations. They have the impact, and they what they say is ruled by the others. They obey. So by joining forces, they can create powerful advocacy for policy changes at local, national, and international level. That can be done very easily. So first is shared resources, second is moral authority, third point is spiritual practices. Many faith communities engage in practices that can support global issues. For example, I can say prayer or uh, meditation for peace, fasting for social justice, or environmental awareness campaigns inspired by religious teachings. These can be. And third point is, I should tell you in brief, or should I continue in detail only?
You can say a little more. No problem. We would like to hear from
No?
you. Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay. So, so third is collaboration on education and awareness. They can join forces. Religious communities can join forces to raise awareness on and educate people on issues like climate change and poverty. Uh, so, what can be included in this? They can include joint educational initiatives, as interfaith dialogue can lead to collaborated workshops, conferences, educational campaigns, and why these things are to be done, workshops and all. Uh, it creates conferences and education campaigns highlights how different faith address these issues. See, they as I was into the conference, what was there? What we did in the World Conference, we shared each other views. Sitting,
Exactly.
I am in India, you were there in that part of the country, so we were interchanging our views. So here also, what is highlighted is different faith, and different faith addresses these issues. This helps to avoid a one size fits all. So approach and allows community to learn from each other. We can learn from each other because every thinking is different. You will think differently, I'll think differently, and we both can think for the benefit.
Exactly.
What is positive? Yeah. So after this, we can come to the public statements and the campaigns. Religious leaders, they can issue joint statements or engage in interfaith campaigns, because if the religious leader speaks, everyone listens and accepts the
Yeah.
wordings what comes from their mouth. They accepts. So
Yeah.
uh, they can think about the sustainable development. They can speak. If they'll speak, that will create the effect. And
Exactly.
poverty eradication and care for the environment. These public acts of solidarity can influence policies and inspire people to take action in their own communities, as well as communities at large level, on the world level, globally.
True.
So next is respect for diversity in approaches. Each religious tradition has its unique approach to address. Everyone is free to address in his or her own ways. So it is important to maintain respect for the differences. We all know we are different. Everyone is not same. Not even two brother sisters who are born from one mother, they are also
Yes.
different. Yeah. So the minds are also different for everyone. So we have to respect everyone. Uh, as each religious tradition has its unique approach to address global issues, it's important to maintain the respect for these differences.
Thank you very much
Collaboration
for
doesn't mean,
yes, that was really
yeah.
wonderful and thought-provoking ideas you brought in. And you have already covered my third question. Anyway, I would like to ask you, harmony is more than just talking, right? It's doing. So, what is one practical project the different faith groups in our local community could start today?
You are absolutely right. Harmony is action. Harmony is action, not just conversation. Yeah, very right. A meaningful project that can make an immediate and tangible difference in the local community would be one that addresses both the shared values
Mhm.
across faith and immediate needs of the community while fostering cooperation between different religious groups. Uh, One Earth, One Community, a local sustainability and service day. This project brings together various religions, communities to take collective action toward environmental stewardship and social service, aligning with the values of love, compassion, and care for the neighbor that are central to many faith traditions. So, for the project, we have to organize a sustainability and service day where different faith communities come together to work on local environment and social projects. This could include combination of all the activities all focusing on tangible results, but also drawing on the diverse spiritual traditions to inspire and guide the work. So I'll come. Okay, what can be done? Community cleanup and green initiatives can be taken. Um,
Mhm.
that should be can done to organize a day where volunteers from different faith communities come together to clean public spaces, parks or the streets, and they can plant trees, set up the community gardens, or start recycling the programs. So many religions like Islam, Christianity, and Hinduism teach about the importance of protecting nature, making this a common ground for the cooperation. So volunteers can come in the teams with each group representing different faiths, symbolizing unity through the action. And they can come up with the food and clothing drive, partner to collect food, clothing, basic supplies which can be given to the people who are in need in the community, who are of need, especially if the area has a high number of marginalized group. So they can set up the distribution stations or drop off points at local churches, mosques, temples, or community centers where people can contribute or receive the assistance. Different faith emphasize charity, Judaism. So, say in Hinduism, we say it seva. So it's easy to draw on these values to motivate the participation. And in this workshop, what we can do, interfaith educational workshop, we can teach after the service activities, host a joint interfaith teach in or workshop that brings together community members together to discuss the spiritual importance of environmental stewardship and social justice. The event could feature presentations, panel discussion, as we had panel discussions, reading from the sacred books, text explaining how various religions approach the care for the planet and the welfare of the vulnerable. So this helps build understanding and highlights the ways in which different all the faiths come together to promote peace, justice, care for each other. Uh, Here, the message that despite differences, the world major religions share common concerns about these all the global issues. And one word is One Earth Community Meal. So, with the shared meal that represents the diversity of faith traditions, where each community contributes a dish and that is culturally or religiously significant, this could be wonderful opportunity for everyone uh, to learn about each other's religious tradition through food and expression and unity. So, in end, I'll say why this project works. What I'm saying is, we are all a collective. They have done this. Everything is considered aware. Why this project works? Because it is action oriented. Uh, it is the idea of interfaith harmony beyond dialogue and moves into concrete action, because everyone is not just speaking and speaking, addressing local needs while bringing people together. They have shared the values on environment, sustainability, social justice, and charity, and they have the tangible results, that the physical act of cleaning up of the environment or providing assistance, and the local impact is also there. It focuses on the local issues. They have seen the issues, they have discussed about the local issues, plus the impact can be seen and felt by the entire community. So there is only one feeling in the end. I'll say only one feeling, the spirit of collaboration. Spirit of collaboration. Yeah, this is the thing. And the bigger picture here, they can organize the event, for promoting the event. You can use social media, community bulletins, announcement during services to invite participation. The more inclusive and visible the event, the greater is the impact of the project. So the bigger picture is the one earth, one community project serves as a model for our religious communities can come together in action. And it also demonstrates how these communities can maintain their unique identities while uniting for a common good, something World Interfaith Harmony Week is all about. By working together on issues like climate change and poverty, these communities show that harmony isn't just about the words, but about working together for the welfare for all globally. One world, one us.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. That was very beautifully mentioned. All the main points, yes. And I think that usually these religious people or communities, different communities come together and they really work together, they collaborate. If there is some natural disaster come or any urgent things come, everyone is getting together. But rather than waiting till that moment, why don't we organize, as you said, be proactive and cultivate that neighborhood between cultures and communities. If you take initiatives, not waiting till any thing happens, any danger things or any natural disasters happen. So it would be a good thing, like that we can prevent many natural disasters in advance. At the same time, people will feel peace in their day-to-day life even, right? Thank you very much for that, ma'am. And one person, one audience, they have joined many audience here. Thank you very much for joining with us today. And one person has asked that a question from him. Just you can share your thoughts around it. Not all neighbors are good. Sometimes controversy happens. What can we do in such situations? That was his question. You can
Yeah,
read it.
not all neighbors are good. That you have to decide to whom you have to speak and how you have to proceed. That depends upon the individual thinking. See, I know you are good, and I am talking to you, I'm interacting with you. If I
Yes.
know that neighbor will create the issue, so I'll be taking my foot back from that neighbor, will not
Yes.
be interacting, because that is the thing. All the persons are not of same mind. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it backfires also. So
Exactly.
if all are not good, we have either we have to convince them, or we have to take back step. All are not good. Yeah, this is the world, and this is the thinking of everyone. Um, 100%, you can't get the 100% sweets. There'll be sour also. This is the
Yes.
thing.
lives. That is the reality of this world,
Reality
right?
of the life. Yeah.
Yes, reality of life. So we have to understand that, and we have to choose carefully. But
Yeah.
as responsible citizens, responsible community leaders, or religious leaders, they can come together. Like, don't wait till some thing happens, some war, some violence, or some natural disasters happens. Be proactive and think about the global issues. So when people are calm and quiet, and they can proceed with these things like global issues, they can take as a common goal, right? When they have problem, when they wait until the violence exists, then the things, they cannot think in that way. They take their
Yes.
faith side and their community side. So that's why I think that UN has emphasized on this week, Harmony Week. Don't wait till the last moment to have some issue
Problems.
to,
Yeah. Issues.
yeah. Just be proactive. Thank you very much,
Yes.
ma'am, for that wonderful things that you shared with us today. It was a very peaceful thing. Then you have brought several religions, ideas, their philosophies, and how beautifully they are connected. Only we, just people, have just cling on to that differences, but they are fundamentally, they are connected. They say to help poor people and protect your environment, and most about the neighbors. When you said that the each and every religion has mentioned about love and respect, and how to treat your neighbor with generosity, and with from Buddhism, Islam, and Judaism to Hinduism, all religions you covered. So thank you very much for that great insight. I hope that whoever listened to our session today, they have enlightened with all these philosophies from the different religion perspectives. So yes, as you said, religion says the same thing, maybe in a different way, but fundamentally we are same. We can come together. We always think about your neighbor positively. If we have, give a smile, even prophet says that that's it's a good deed to give a smile to the people who you meet. Yeah.
Best language to speak. You know.
Yes,
Best language
exactly.
to speak.
Hinduism, the people, they have like Gandhiji you mentioned. So these people have shown us like how to live with ahimsa, how to treat other people with peace and harmony. So these cultures, these kind of acts should be repeated, and they should be reminded very often to the people. And it is also, you said, like global issues and climate issues. Yeah, when these religious communities, spiritual communities come together, and they have a common ground, and when they declare something or establish something, when they have some workshops or conferences, people come because people are attached, the community people attached to that religion, right? So use that religious ground as a common good place where the people can network, and they can share their ideas and interchange their views, and bring policies, right? Common good policies towards this climate issues and poverty, so that we can think of bring out a good ideas from different perspective through a common goal. So I would like to remind for all these leaders, forget about our differences. Just look through the lenses of the similarities that all religion shares. That is the beauty of religions. So let's celebrate, as Professor Dr. Richa beautifully mentioned. Bring your cultural dishes, and just enjoy it and share your values, and at the same time bring a more productive and proactive actions and policies to the table, so that the future generation will benefit from them. Thank you very much, Professor Richa, for joining with us tonight. And thank you very much, global audience, for your time, valuable time, and interesting points. And we value that, we appreciate that. And with this, I will come to conclude the session today. And let me come again with you with another amazing speaker with an amazing topic. Very good night, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Yeah. Good evening.